Hello everyone. Today's video is going to be about making a custom oil funnel for your car. In this case, this one is a 2011 Hyundai Genesis. It's got the 2.0 liter turbo engine, and the fill hole for this car is kind of interesting because it's different than any one I've seen. Let me show you. So what you have down in that hole is you have a plate there. Now you do have a hole going down, but there's a plate in the way there. And if you just use a standard funnel, and this is one that I've been using for years to fill my car with fluids, and you put it in here, you can see the funnel hits the bottom of that plate, making it very difficult to fill because the oil has such a small space to pass through. Rather than cut this funnel down to make some more space for that plate, what I thought I'd do is take advantage of the fact that I have a 3D printer, and I'm still learning how to work with OnShape, but I thought this might be a good video to put together on how to make something useful that'll help you solve little problems using CAD software and a 3D printer to make that design a reality. Guys, if you like the content I'm putting out, make sure to give me a thumbs up. You find it useful, subscribe to the channel, and leave me some comments. I love reading the comments. I try to get back to you guys as soon as I see them. We're going to need the original oil cap. We're going to get a couple of measurements from this. So let's start off with this piece. We'll go over to the workbench and I'll show you the measurements that you're going to need. Alright guys, these are the measurements that you're going to need. So get yourself a caliper. So 33.7 is the diameter of this cap that goes inside, the threaded part. And we're also going to need to know the space in between these 2 points here to get the thread pitch. So that looks like 3.5 to me. And then you may want to also get the overall depth. You can use this piece here to do the depth. Just put it on your cap, extend it out, and then it's I'm going to call it 13, or you can use 12.7. Another measurement you might want to get is the measurement here, which is how big that the surface is going to be where the cap is going to sit. So I'm gonna use 50 for this because it does have this O-ring here. So I think 50 will probably be okay. And then if you want, grab the overall cap diameter. So here we got 65.5. So just grab all those measurements and then let's head over to OnShape and we'll design it. Once you're in OnShape, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and click on Create. Then we're going to create a document. Give the document a name. As you can see, I've already created the funnel, but I'm going to go ahead and start another one from scratch. That way I can show you guys how I did it. And there may be other ways. I'm still learning this program. First thing we're going to want to do is change the unit of measurement. So click those 3 little bars at the top, workspace units. Switch it to millimeters. Click the check. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch. Now, these are the measurements that I went ahead and took from my original cap. And then I also took some measurements from the funnel. So go ahead and click on sketch. We're going to select a plane. I'm going to select the top plane. And we're going to start our drawing here. You can press the N key to orient it properly. We're going to create 3 circles. That's how we're going to start. So let's head up over to the top left. Click on the center point circle. And we're going to create 1. Create another one. And then our third circle. We're going to use the sizes that we have in this little file box up here on the right. Now we're going to head over to the measurement tool. We're going to define these circles. So the first one is going to be the outside shape, 65. Next, we're going to select the portion that mates with the valve cover. That's 50. And then finally, the threaded part in the center. Go ahead and hit enter. Now, the next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to extrude. Click over here on extrude. It's going to want to extrude just the outer ring, but we're going to adjust this. And what we want to extrude are the two center rings. So we're going to leave this outer ring off for now. And then we're going to refer back to our measurements here that we have on our little file. So this first ring that we're going to extrude is going to be the section that's going to mate with the valve cover. We determined that's 4 millimeters. We're going to complete this extrude. Now we're going to create another extrude. I like to turn the sketch on so I could see the previous drawing. Click on extrude again. Now we're going to do the center part. Click on it. And then we're going to refer back to our measurements here. So we have 13 millimeters. Now we're going to work with the outside ring. And this one, we want to extrude it in the other direction. So we have a cap depth of 10 millimeters, but we're going to create a textured surface in the middle, which is going to be like an ice cream sandwich. So we're going to give this first layer a 1 millimeter depth. Now we're going to complete this extrude. Now we're going to create a sketch on top of our new surface that we just recently extruded. So we're going to click on extrude, click on new, and now we're going to make this 8 millimeters. So this is going to be our textured surface. Now we're going to do this again. We're going to extrude the outside of this shape. And again, it's going to be a new surface. We're going to extrude it 1 millimeter. All right, so there we have our ice cream sandwich configuration here. Let's create the helix. So we're going to create the textured part first. So go ahead and select helix. And we want to change the revolutions to a very small number. Now that we have our revolution on our part, now we're going to create a sketch on this revolution. So that line there. So we're going to create sketch. And we need to create a sketch point. So we're going to right click on this point. And we're going to head down to where it says create selection. That's going to allow us to select this line to be able to draw our next shape on. You can leave it on faces. So here it is here. Face of extrude 4. That's our selection. Add selection. And then go ahead and close this box. All right, so now we can click on this line. Now we're going to create a sketch. select our point, and we're going to draw 2 lines. Bring it out, click on it, hit the escape key, then reselect the line, click the center again, and go out in the other direction. So now we got 2 lines. We're going to give these lines dimensions. So I'm going to start off with 1 millimeter. We'll see how that looks. Go ahead and click enter. That looks a little long. Let's change that to 5 millimeters. All right, I'll click enter, and then let's select the next one. Go ahead and change that to 5 millimeters as well. We'll see what that looks like. All right, now we're going to create another line, and this one is going to go down. So let's head up over here to our little line tool. Click on our center point again, and then we're going to go down 90 degrees. That dotted line represents 90 degrees. We're going to go ahead and give this a dimension as well. We'll make that also 0.5 millimeter. So now we have these 3 lines that are in a T. Now we're going to create a 3-point arc. Click our first end of the line, the next one, and then finish with the height of the arch. So there we have our little arch. Go ahead and click the check button. Now I would need to get rid of this line here. So let's go ahead and right click, edit the sketch. And let's just select this line, press the delete key and get rid of it. We don't need that anymore. Go ahead and click your checkbox. All right. Next thing we want to do is we want to sweep this shape. So we're going to click the sweep tool. We're going to select our shape. We want to make sure that we click on the remove. And then click on surface. I'm sorry, solid. Then click on remove. We're going to select the face to sweep. So it's going to be this selection here. And then the next thing is we have to tell it which direction we want it to sweep. So the path. And then we're going to select the line. As you can see, it's red. It has an issue here. So we're going to try to see if we can resolve this, if I can remember how to do it. Bear with me, guys, while I remember how to do this part here. All right, so here it is. So we need to select part 1 and part 2. So both halves need to be selected to merge, and then go ahead and click the check. Now, next thing we need to do now is, so it looks kind of small. I'm going to go ahead and change this to 1 millimeter. I think 0.5 millimeter is too small. So we'll just double click on here. Change that to 1. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Oops. Hit the escape key if this happens to you. All right, hit the escape key. All right, double click on this. And we're going to change this to 1. Go ahead and click the check. And this should make our groove a little bit bigger. Okay, perfect. I think that looks good. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to multiply this shape around this whole center section of our sandwich. To do that, we're going to click up here to where it says pattern. We're going to select circular pattern. And then we want to remove material. So we're going to click on here where it says remove. Oh, and make sure that you change this over to face, the face to pattern instead of the previous default selection. All right, so now we got it. The axis is going to be face of extrude. And then we're going to change this instant count to, let's try 40, see what it looks like. That looks pretty good. Maybe we might be able to increase it a little bit. Let's try a little bit higher number, see what that looks like. And maybe that'll be okay. Yeah, let's try to change this to a higher number. So we'll try 50. 50 looks good. All right. Oh, also, let's give this a little quick radius here. So let's give this 2 panels a radius. We'll call it 1 millimeter. Select this other one, also 1 millimeter. Click the checkbox. All right, that looks good. All right, now let's work on the threaded portion. So let's see what our thread pitch is. So we're going to unroll our little thing here. We need a 3.5 thread pitch, and I have this little thread creator that I was able to search for on OnShape, and I found a little tool that somebody made for us. So all we need to do here is click the face that you need to thread. In this case, it's this outer ring. Change the pitch to 3.5 millimeter, which matches our default cap. And there you go. So now we have a completed thread. So the lower portion of our cap is complete. Next thing we're going to want to do is create a plane. So let's click on the plane tool. And then we need to click a reference plane. In this case, it's going to be the plane that we created our circles on. Oops, hold on a second. Get rid of that one. Let's try this again. The plane that we created our circle on, okay. And we need to change the direction because we want to make the next piece above the threaded portion of the cap. So let's change the direction. We'll put this at 10 millimeters, and it should give us a plane right at the top of our cap. And the reason we need these guys is we're going to create another shape. The shape of the funnel is going to be directly on top. Actually, we need to make another plane first. So let's click on the plane tool again, change the direction of the plane, and we're going to need a funnel that's 100 millimeters tall. So we're going to change this to 100 millimeters, and that'll give us the top of our funnel. So that's how far the bottom of the funnel is going to be from the top. So now we have our 2 planes. Next thing, we're going to click on sketch. Select the plane that is right above our cap. And then you can press the N key to get it in the right position. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a circle. So we're going to reference our little cheat sheet with our measurements over here to the right. And we're going to need a funnel opening of 22.5 millimeters. So let's click over here on this center point circle. Create a circle. Let's give that circle a dimension. Type in 22.5, press enter. Okay, now we got our circle. Click the checkbox. All right, our circle is complete. Next thing we're going to want to do is create a second circle. Go ahead and click sketch. Select the top plane. Press the N key. And we want the top of our funnel to be about 130 millimeters. I got this measurement off of the original funnel that I was using. So 130 millimeters is going to work out really well. So 130, enter. So now we have our funnel. So this is the top ring, the bottom ring. Next thing is OnShape has a pretty cool tool called Loft. And this is something that I recently learned to use. So we're going to click on the little Loft tool. I'm going to go ahead and condense this because we don't need to look at it right now. So here's our little loft tool. Go ahead and click on it. And then it's going to ask you to select two surfaces. We're going to select the bottom of the funnel and then the top of the funnel. And what it does is it creates a connection between the two. So if one part is a circle and the other part is a square, it will make a circle to square. If it's two circles, it will make a cone like this. Now the cone is solid, so we're going to have to hollow this cone out. Oh, and also we want to make sure that we change this to new. So make sure that the new funnel that's above it is a new shape. Now we're going to click shell, click on the top of the funnel, and it will hollow out the funnel all the way down to the bottom. Let's make the wall thickness 1 millimeter. Click the checkbox. I think that looks good. And now we have our hollowed out funnel. Next thing we're going to want to do is we need to push this funnel down into our cap. So let's get this thing in the right position. And then if you click the middle mouse button and hold it down, you can move the shape. Now we're going to click on transform. And what we want to do here is select the shape we want to transform. In this case, it's the funnel. And then we want to tell it, okay, well, how do you want to transform this? Well, we want to transform it by X, Y, and Z. That way we can move it up, down, left, or right. Now we're going to select the down arrow and we're going to start pulling it down into our cap. But we don't want to pull it too far down into the cap because then it's going to interfere with the threads like you see here. So we're going to pull it back just a little bit. And it looks like it's going to be about 20 millimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and round this out to 20. And then click the checkbox and it's going to complete the movement for us. Okay, now that we have the part inside of the cap, what we need to do now is remove the extra material. And OnShape, and I'm sure the other CAD programs have another cool little tool called Boolean. So you click on Boolean, we're going to click on Subtract, and we're going to click on Keep Tools. We're going to click on our funnel. That's going to be our tool. And then we're going to click on our targets, which is going to be every part associated with the bottom cap. Now what you could do is you can zoom out a little bit and then click to the right of the part and then drag a square to capture the bottom pieces. Now make sure that you select the target box and then select it. And if it accidentally selects the upper part, you can go ahead and just delete it off of the target list. And then now we have this part complete. Now we're going to ahead and click the checkbox. And now what it's done is it would have divided all the pieces from the tool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this center part and we're going to delete the part 6. So you want to make sure it's yellow, click delete, click the checkbox, and it will eliminate that part. Okay, now we got to get rid of the sandwich piece in the middle. We're going to do the same thing. Select it, right click, click delete part 4, click the checkbox, and now we've eliminated that part. And then we could do the same with this bottom piece. So go ahead and select it, delete part 3, click the checkbox, and the only surface that we're left with now is the very bottom where the funnel is touching. To open up that shape, what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to create a drawing on the bottom of the cap and then push that drawing up through the funnel. So let's go ahead and get this thing adjusted right. You can move this around by clicking the middle mouse button to move the shape up and down. And then click the left mouse button to move it up or down. All right, so now we're going to click Sketch, select the bottom, press the N key to get our orientation properly. Create a center circle. We're going to change this dimension to 22.5, which is our opening for our funnel. And then we're going to need to extrude this. So if you see, it's going to want to extrude it in one direction, but we need to change it to the other direction. Okay, it's actually going in the right direction, but we want to make sure it extrudes all the way through. So let's, right now it doesn't look like it's extruded all the way through. So let's see if we can figure out why. Let's click on edit, the last extrusion. And let's see if maybe we can pull it through further maybe. Let's try that. So we'll pull it way out, click the checkbox. Let's check it. Nope. Still hasn't gone through that shape. All right. Let's try. No, that's not going to work. Okay, I think we might have to edit this extrude again. So let's go ahead and right click on the extrude tool again, click on remove. And then we're going to select the center section. And then okay, let's select the back again. Okay, let's click on merge scope and then, okay, so it's through all, merge scope, and then click on part 1. Okay, merge with all. Okay, and there we go. All right, so that looks like it's through. So let's go ahead and click the checkbox. All right, so now we're all the way through. We can see all the way through the bottom. Next thing we're going to want to do is create a smooth transition from the top of the funnel down to the bottom. So we're going to select this first top edge, click on the fillet tool first, click the edge that we want to fillet, and it's going to default to about 5, but I think we need to make it a little bit bigger. I like to bring that fillet edge down to the next part. So we'll make this bigger. Let's try 7. Let's try 7.5. That looks about right. Maybe 7.7. Okay, 8 millimeters. Click the checkbox. All right, now our transition is complete. And guys, this looks pretty good. I think we just about have it. Let's take a quick look at it in our assembly tab. So what we're going to want to do here is click on assembly. At the bottom, we're going to click on insert, and then we're going to select all of our parts. You can do that by selecting just the top section or click and drag. This will give us all our parts. Go ahead and click. All right, so now we have our part. Go ahead and click the checkbox. And then we want to take a good look at this part before we export this to an STL file to make sure that everything looks good or there's no strange interference anywhere. And how I like to do that is to do a cutaway view. So I click on section view, and then we have to select a side. Okay, again, click on the cone. Okay, let's try clicking this side piece. All right, so this will give us an arrow. We can move that arrow in and out, and it will show us a cutaway view. What we're looking for here, guys, is to make sure that no area is too thin. And this actually looks pretty good. I think it could work well exactly the way it is. We really don't need to change anything. So just give it a quick look, make sure everything looks okay. Yeah, this looks good to me. Go ahead and click the checkbox. Let's remove the section view. Okay, so this is what our part is going to look like. Now you want to right click on this, click export. And then we want to export it as one file. So we're going to give it a name, funnel test. Funnel tutorial. Okay, funnel tutorial. Click OK. And this is going to generate our STL file. Once our file is downloaded, we're just going to double click it. and it should open our Cura program or whatever 3D slicer program you happen to be using. Okay, here we are in Cura. There's our cone. And then what you want to do with the cone is, I'm going to change the orientation of it. But before you print the whole cone, it's a good idea to move this shape down, leave it the way it is, and then just bring it down below the printer so it only prints a portion of the threaded part. And I would print this as a test to make sure that your thread diameter and thread pitch works with your car before committing to printing the whole thing. So this is a quick little 37-minute print. You can save the file, go ahead and send it over to your 3D printer. In this case, I know the thread works, so I'm going to go ahead and rotate this funnel the other way so that I got the funnel side up. Then I'm going to click on here and I'm going to go ahead and bring it up completely above the work plate. So now that our funnel is on the work surface, if you notice, we got that bottom section that does not touch the build plate. So we're going to have to create some support structure here. You can do that in your slicer program. I'm going to go ahead and wait for it to finish slicing before I make the adjustment. And I believe I already have it set with the support, and it looks like it because of the 10 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and verify by clicking preview. And it's going to show me everything that the printer is going to print. So if okay, so you see that light blue part underneath? So that means the printer is going to print this support structure underneath. And this is important because most 3D printers will not print in midair like this. They need to have some kind of a support. And what you could do is you could bring this right little level all the way down, and it will show you each level that the printer is going to print. So we start off from the very bottom. We can work it up and just look for any potential problems. I have the number of lines on the wall set to 8, which makes this a very strong part. It's going to have very little fill in the middle. You can see there's 8 lines of material on the inner and outer wall. So essentially the funnel is going to be solid. There's no ink, there's no fill material in the funnel. We're going to head and click on the prepare button, and then let's go ahead and save it. So this is a long print, 10 hours and 31 minutes. Let's go ahead and save it. We'll change the name here to funnel tutorial.gcode, and I'll go ahead and I'll make the STL file available to you. That way you guys can use it. And that's it. Now, the next thing we need to do is head over to our 3D printer and print it up. So I got a little time lapse set up of the actual job. Let's head over to it, and I'll show you how it prints. Alright guys, I got the funnel all finished. Let me show you guys how it fits. So here it is right here. So just threads on here. So there you go. So now we have a custom funnel. Turn on the light so you guys can see. A custom funnel that does not hit that bottom plate. Has plenty of space. It's not gonna move. It's not gonna come out, and it's custom made for this car. So you can see I got the little textured sides there, so I can screw it down. So anyway, I'll make this STL file available for download. If you guys have a Hyundai Genesis or some other vehicle where this thread pattern would also work on, feel free to download the STL file. Print it out and let me know what you think of it, how it works for you. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notification bells. Until next time, God bless.